No, please don't do this. If it's gonna hurt Robyn's feelings, if Kody's gonna be jumping for joy, whatever.
Does anyone actually believe this woman? Seriously, I need someone to explain how Robyn can sit there, lamenting that her dream has been destroyed, when she's the only one with a secure place and an actual husband. Funny how she never tells Kody she'll leave if he can't treat all the wives equally. No, she just plays the perpetual victim, while conveniently being the only one whose life remains untouched by the wreckage Kody has left behind. Let's be real. Robyn's real dream wasn't plural marriage. It was Kody maintaining monogamy with her, while occasionally checking in on the other wives like a landlord inspecting rental properties. She was more than happy to let the OG3 contribute financially, pay into the family fund, and chip in for that oversized McMansion of hers, all while working outside the home. But now that everything's falling apart, cue the crocodile tears. And then there's Kody, proudly announcing that he was just performing in his relationship with Meri. Gross, disgusting. But sure, let's pretend Robyn, the self-appointed mediator, is the real victim here. Now she gets what she always wanted, Kody all to herself. Let's see how long that lasts. Because honestly, imagine watching 3 marriages crumble and then making yourself the main character. Yes, she's hurting, financially, mostly, but centering other people's divorces around her own pain. That's next level selfish. At the end of the day, it's always been about her dream. They stomped on her dream, the way her ex stomped on her purity, her words, not mine. But she never once considers how she's been stomping on the OG3's dreams from day one. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel reality Nexus X. Note to Kody, they didn't leave a good man. They left a man who only loved his favorite wife. A man who couldn't be bothered to show up for his own children. A man who failed to show up for them. They left someone who constantly criticized and scrutinized them while withholding love and affection. And guess what? None of your exes are going to have any trouble finding love. That has nothing to do with leaving a so-called good man, because if you had been good to them, you'd still be married to all of them. Let's be real, Kody isn't some shining example of masculinity. He's a bitter, broke-ass man-child who couldn't take care of his own family. It's actually pathetic. And now he's at it again, as if we haven't heard this nonsense before. He said it in the last one-on-one, and from the previews, he's doubling down. That ridiculous claim that no man would want a divorced woman who left a good man. Seriously, what planet does this guy live on? No man meets a woman and thanks him, but was her ex a good man? That is not how this works. David didn't give a single damn about Kody's opinion or his imaginary sainthood. He cared about Christine and his relationship with her. And yet, Kody keeps clinging to this idea that Christine had to justify leaving a good man to her new husband. Newsflash, men don't care. If we're in love with a woman, her ex is at best a footnote, and at worst, an idiot we roll our eyes at. Most of us assume the ex was probably an asshole, and if he wasn't, doesn't matter, we're just glad he's out of the way. The only man on this planet who believes another man would turn down a woman out of respect for her ex-husband's supposed goodness is Kody Brown. Because not all men are out here obsessing over each other's approval like he is. Robyn is Yoko Ono. Now, let me be clear, the Brown family is in no way comparable to the Beatles. Cringe, but the parallels? Oh, they're there. When Yoko love-bombed her way into John's life, seriously, the real story from his first wife, and the people who knew him is both heartbreaking and mind-blowing. She didn't just join his world, she took over. One by one, she alienated him from family, friends, his band, and most tragically, his son Julian. It wasn't instant. No, these things take time, years actually. Then came John's so-called lost weekend. He and Yoko were on a break, shout out to Ross Geller. But in true Yoko fashion, she orchestrated the whole thing, pushing him into a relationship with their 22-year-old assistant. The details? Wild. Honestly, Yoko might actually be more unhinged than Robyn. For 18 months, John lived with May Pang, reconnected with Julian, and by many accounts, started feeling like himself again. He was happy, almost free. But Yoko wasn't about to let that happen. When she threatened divorce, John called her bluff, not the reaction she was expecting. So she reeled him back in, had a son with him, and ensured he was right where she wanted him, needed, controlled, dependent. His own friends said he was brainwashed. Eventually, after years of isolation from the world and music, John found his way back to his art. He even reached out to his family in England, planning a long overdue reunion. Then tragedy. The last communication he sent was about coming home, and then he was gone, killed by an unstable fan. The point? When a manipulative person takes over your life, emotional devastation follows. You change. You abandon people you once loved. You become paranoid, angry, withdrawn. Sound familiar? Because whenever John was able to come up for air away from Yoko, people say he was his old self again. Makes you wonder, if Kody could escape Robyn's control, would he reach out to his kids? Would he wake up and realize the damage he's done? Now that would be interesting. Kayla Didar. No, the Browns aren't the Beatles. But narcissistic patterns? Oh, they don't discriminate. Alienation, manipulation, paranoia, rage, abandoned children, Julian Lennon, meet the Brown kids. Robyn broke up the Browns the way Yoko broke up the Beatles, just my opinion. But hey, if by that you mean she gets all the blame while the man conveniently avoids accountability, then yeah, totally the same story. Why is it so hard to hold men responsible for their choices? At the end of the day, Kody made the decision to abandon his family. Also, fun fact, didn't John Lennon abuse both of his wives? And while we're at it, no matter how much influence someone wields, the decision to abandon your own child, that's on the parent. Oh, and for the record, I've seen Robyn Brown's art. She's no Yoko Ono. Now, Sobin's entire narrative is about family, the tears, the confusion, the how could this happen act. But let's apply a simple, non-confrontational, but very telling litmus test. When Yasabel was recovering from a major, invasive surgery with only one caregiver by her side 24/7, what exactly did Kody and Robyn do? How many meals did Sobin's household send over? Did they grocery shop for Christine? Run to the pharmacy? Did they send their super safe nanny to help? Did they offer to take Truly out for some socially distanced fun, kayaking, fishing, anything? Did they offer to take her in for a few weeks, since she had already quarantined? Yeah, that's what I thought. Where it all went wrong for Robyn, the moment everything started to unravel, the infamous meeting where the wives and Kody sat down to discuss the almighty C-19 rules. Christine and Janelle, using basic logic, assumed that since Meri had followed every single precaution, no visitors, no outings, she must have been spending time with Robyn and her kids. Makes sense, right? Well, not in Robyn's world. When Meri asked why she was being punished despite playing by the rules, Robyn scrambled for an excuse and landed on, she didn't want to upset the other wives. Sure, Robyn, because excluding Meri entirely was the diplomatic choice. The reality? She never had any intention of including her in the first place, and she got caught. Need more proof? Let's rewind to the fires at Coyote Pass. Kody was there, living his best life, while Robyn stood in the background, yelling at the kids to stay apart like some kind of coronavirus hall monitor. Meri, meanwhile, was actually trying to manage the chaos, running around after the kids while Robyn just stood there. And then, when Kody refused to back her up, she got mad at him. But let's be real, if those were actually his rules, he wouldn't have been asking Robyn's permission to let the kids play. He would have been enforcing them himself. Oh, and let's not forget the piece de resistance. Kody casually licking the family's marshmallow roasting stick like coronavirus didn't exist. Because, surprise, he never actually cared about the virus. He only cared about pruticules, his mispronunciation, not mine, when they served a greater purpose, namely, controlling the non-Robyn parts of the family. And can we talk about all the times Robyn exposed herself? One of my personal favorites, her never-ending grudge against the kids who didn't immediately jump for joy when she announced her pregnancy with Solomon. Let's set the scene. These kids had just been uprooted, their family was split in half, and they were about to endure some of the hardest years of their lives. But somehow, their lack of instant enthusiasm was the unforgivable offense in Robyn's book. Even after Solomon was born and they treated him with love, she still held on to it. And to top it off, she didn't even tell them about her pregnancy with Meri until she had already shared it with her family. Because, let's be honest, she always saw her own family as separate, and she was just looking for reasons to justify it. I think this was when Meri started to wake up to the fact that Robyn wasn't actually her friend, or at least, not a good one. Robyn had no real excuse for keeping her out, and when Meri jokingly pointed out that the coronavirus rules were clearly hers, she snapped. Meanwhile, Christine and Janelle ignored Kody's ridiculous rules because their kids actually mattered to them, and their friendship was more important. Robyn, she had Kody's blessing and still went out of her way to create an extra unnecessary roadblock to keep Meri out. But honestly, even worse than the way Robyn abandoned Meri during coronavirus was how she disappeared when Meri's mother died. Watching Meri drive herself, completely alone, was heartbreaking. That was the moment she truly realized she wasn't part of the family. The only person there for her. Jen. That's why she started spending more time in Parowan, because that's where she actually had support. At the end of the day, Robyn is all about Robyn. She joined this family to escape debt, get help with her kids, and, oh yeah, be on TV. And while I do believe she and Kody are genuinely in love, their relationship came at the cost of pushing everyone else out, kind of a problem in a plural marriage. And now she's crying crocodile tears because the public is against them, the money is drying up, and she's stuck with Kody alone. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So, is Meri writing a book? Sure sounds like it. In next week's preview, she dramatically declares, "My story will be told." Well, let's hope so. Same, I'd be hitting that pre-order button real fast. Meri has definitely been through it. Tough times, cult dynamics, bad decisions, and a serious case of emotional stagnation. But she's slowly finding herself, and honestly, I'm here for it. Sure, she's probably been less than kind to certain family members and has a bit of a control freak streak, but who doesn't love a good redemption arc? I'd actually love to hear her take on everything, what she's learned, how she's grown, and all the messy, imperfect, brutally honest reflections that make for the best stories. That said, I really hope she holds off on writing until she's fully out from under Robyn's spell. If she jumps the gun, she might end up softening Robyn's role in all the chaos, and let's be real, that would be a tragedy. For maximum truth-telling, Meri needs some serious distance, both in time and geography, before she starts spilling the tea. Although, let's be honest, this is probably going to be more of a self-help or motivational book, with just enough lukewarm drama sprinkled in to boost sales. Smart move, really. If her goal is to pivot into a business or brand focused on empowerment, using the intrigue of telling her story as a sales hook is kind of genius. Why does Janelle get a free pass from fans while Meri doesn't? No, seriously, why are so many people firmly team Janelle and Christine but trash Meri? I'm genuinely curious, because if you ask me, Janelle is the one who deserves some serious side-eyeing. Let's break it down. She was married to Meri's brother, ditched him, then set her sights on Meri's husband. And if that wasn't messy enough, she tried to seal the deal on Meri's birthday. Yeah, if I were Meri, I'd be less than thrilled about this woman waltzing through my living room too. So Meri being cold to Janelle in the early years, that actually makes a whole lot of sense. What am I missing here? You dumped my brother, move in on my husband, and now I'm stuck cohabiting with you? Yeah, I'd have an attitude too. And let's not act like Christine and Janelle are the innocent victims they love to paint themselves as. They've made mistakes. They've ignored their kids. They've hurt each other. None of them, Meri included, are anywhere close to perfect. In reality, every single adult in this situation, all 5 of them, failed those kids and hurt one another in the process. At this point, I'm team anyone who leaves Kody. Now I'll admit Meri is getting some redemption right now. Thank you, narrative arc, but we also tend to gloss over the problematic aspects of the OG3. The NLM scams? Yeah, we pretend those don't exist. Having 11 billion, stealing that from someone because it's hilarious, kids when they could barely afford to feed them. Also ignored. Preaching polygamy like it was the ultimate dream life when, in reality, it was ruining them. Yep, overlooked. But at the end of the day, they're just imperfect humans trying to figure things out, and I respect that they're finally finding their own happiness. Maybe that's why so many of us relate to them, because they're flawed, just like we are. Fun fact, in the early days, it was actually Meri and Christine who were tight. Besties even. That whole dirty kitchen debate, it was them against Janelle. Meri and Christine wanted the kitchen spotless at night, while Janelle preferred to clean in the morning. The rift between Meri and Christine didn't even happen until about a year before the show, and it was over childcare. Yet now, there's this revisionist history that Meri was just stomping around like Godzilla, destroying everyone's good time while Janelle and Christine clung to each other in terror. That's simply not how it played out. Honestly, I give them all a pass for those early years. The same way I'd give a pass to any young person struggling to live with roommates, except these roommates were all playing hot potato with the same guy. Of course, it was a disaster. Of course, it bred resentment and bad choices. How could it not? At the end of the day, all of these women are complicated, messy, and flawed, just like the rest of us. And honestly, pitiable. Who wouldn't be bitter, angry, and emotionally wrecked after living in this train wreck? There's no way they haven't felt powerless in this toxic, manipulative mess. So the fact that it's finally imploding, fantastic news. And personally, I hope Meri goes after Kody with a vengeance, because he's the one I truly can't stand. Oh, and for the record, I actually see plenty of Janelle hate in these subs, especially regarding how she handled the whole situation with Meri's brother. At the end of the day, these women all deserve some grace. Not a single one of them was making decisions from a place of emotional maturity. They were all operating from a scarcity mindset, one that's deeply ingrained in these cultures. And that's the real tragedy. For once, Robyn actually said something I believe. When she claimed she tried to get Kody to fix things with Janelle after their massive blowout, I think she probably did, though let's be real, only for selfish reasons. A few weeks ago, we learned that Kody had to super-duper pinky promise Robyn that he'd never stay with her if he didn't love her anymore. Translation: before they even got married, he basically admitted he wasn't all that into the OG3 anymore. And Robyn, terrified of the same fate, made sure to get a very specific promise that he'd walk away before forcing her into a loveless marriage. In my opinion, she pushed him to reconcile with Janelle, not because she actually cared, but because Christine and Meri were already out the door. That left Janelle as the last buffer before Robyn became the sole recipient of Kody's ever-fickle affections. She knows Kody is rewriting history when he claims he never loved the OG3, and deep down, she realizes just how disposable he's willing to make people, including his own kids. And now, she's finally connecting the dots about what that could mean for her. She's absolutely terrified that one day she'll be next on the chopping block, and honestly, I love that for her. Meanwhile, Kody continues to spiral into delusion, and I cannot wait to watch him and Robyn make one disastrous financial decision after another until they land in his ultimate nightmare, actual poverty. They don't care about losing the other wives. They care about losing the income those wives brought in. That's what they'll miss the most. I also have to wonder, did Robyn catch the moment in that fight when Janelle straight up told Kody, "You're doing the same thing to me that you did to Meri and Christine. You're accusing me of the same things you accuse them of." Because if she missed it, yikes. There's a pattern, and she might finally be realizing she's not exempt from it. At first, she probably told herself it was just Meri. Then, when Christine left, she found ways to justify that too. But when Janelle got the same treatment, that's when the cracks in her little fantasy world started showing. It's totally possible that she pushed Kody to fix things with Janelle just so she could convince herself that she was safe. But let's not give Robyn too much credit here. People love to paint her as either a master manipulator who plotted to dismantle a family from day one or a naive woman suddenly waking up to Kody's awfulness now that she's stuck with him. The reality? Kody and Robyn aren't strategic masterminds. They're just dumb. They're not afraid of monogamy. They're not secretly hoping the OG3 come back. They're not even concerned about fixing things with the kids. They're just selfish, manipulative, emotionally stunted people who lack basic empathy. Robyn's real motivation? Keeping her spot on the show. With the OG3 gone, the only way she and Kody stay relevant is by either oversharing about their marriage or encouraging some half-hearted reconciliation attempts to keep the drama going. She wants to maintain her platform, cry outside her house every 3 months for the cameras, and collect her paycheck. That's it. And here's the kicker. I don't think she's in love with Kody at all. Did you see her face when Suki brought up how Kody felt about her in the beginning? Not even a smile. Instead, she went into full damage control mode, making sure everyone knew it wasn't her fault. She wanted Meri and Janelle to stick around, not because she cared about them, but because they fed her ego and her bank account. After all, what's the fun in being the favorite wife when there's no one left to be jealous of you? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.